Next to trying and winning, the best thing is trying and failing.
Life is worth living as long as there is laughter in it.
A very good morning and a warm welcome to our eminent dignitaries. Our Honorable Dean Light, Principal Sir Mr. Shaji Matthew, our Vice Principal, respected Socha Saji, and our School Administrator Mr. Anil Thomas, adorable parents, and our DCS family to this special event, which promises to render fun, excitement, and incredible performances. My name is Arihant Jaiswal.
And I am Mona Tejwani, and we will be a co-traveler as we journey through this exciting world of Theatre Fiesta 2024 featuring Anne of Green Gables.
Today, we are all overwhelmed to bring this act of theatre, which has been crafted so finely through amongst tireless striving. Our talented actors and our technical team have put their hearts to bring this act to life.
But Aryan, before we proceed, let's take a moment to appreciate the magic of theatre, where the stage transforms into myriad worlds and epochs. The actors transcend themselves in diverse characters, and we, the audience, are transported, enchanted, moved, and challenged.
So true, Monik. Today, we have gathered here to embark on a captivating journey through Anne of Green Gables, written by the Canadian author Lucy Montgomery, and also to witness the outstanding performances of our talented students.
Taking this opportunity, let me share you a glimpse of Anne of Green Gables, which reveals the story of Anne Shirley, an imaginative and talkative character who mistakenly sent to live with their two middle-aged siblings, Marla and Matthew Cuthbert, on their farm in Prince Edward Island, Canada.
Anne Shirley, the protagonist of Anne of Green Gables, is a redheaded orphan who faces troubles getting used to the social etiquette and meeting the expectations of adults.
No doubt she is intelligent, high-spirited and determined, yet she is also stubborn and short-tempered.
But her winsome personality, her high spirits, and her talent for getting into scrapes endear her to her audience.
Moving on, we would like to appreciate the hands that have crafted various elements which make our drama look so spectacular.
Take a look at the detailed set, the props, the costumes, and all the other elements here, which have been crafted by our technical team, breathe life into the script and create the mesmerizing world we see on the stage.
Rightly said, Aryan. And to add on the lighting, the music, and the directions have added their magical spell into it.
Before we kickstart, we urge you to meet who work behind the scenes to make this event possible. Introducing the backbone of today's event, our technical team.
Let's give them a great round of applause. Thank you, technical team, for creating this spectacular world.
Dear
Dear
parents,
audience, we assure you that this Theatre Fiesta will take you on an emotional roller coaster representing an exciting story of Anne of Green Gables.
Dear parents, as you know, our school has transformed this stage and our students are ready to take you on an unforgettable ride. So, without further ado, we invite you to witness the magic of live theatre and experience the power of storytelling. So, sit back, relax, and get ready to be transported into a world of drama, vivid emotions, and unforgettable performances.
Chapter 1. Mrs. Rachel Lynn is surprised. Now, how shall I describe Rachel Lynn? Yes, she was a very capable creature, one who could manage her own concerns and those of the other folks in the bargain. Nothing escaped her all-seeing eye, which is why on this sunny afternoon in early June, she noted something very unusual from her kitchen window.
Why is that Matthew Cuthbert I see? Driving his buggy out of town and in his best suit too? Where is he off to, I wonder? He doesn't generally go to town this time of the year and he never visits. He wasn't driving fast enough for a doctor. Yet, something must have happened to start him off. I'm clean puzzled. That's what. I'll just step over to Green Gables and find out from his sister where he's gone and why. I won't have a moment's peace until I find what has led Matthew Cuthbert out of Avonlea today.
Rachel Lynn did not have far to go. Green Gables was barely a quarter mile up the road from Lynn's Hollow. While all the other Avonlea houses were situated along the main road, Green Gables had been built far from it. In Rachel Lynn's esteemed opinion, this explained why Matthew and Marilla were a bit odd. They had trees as their only company. 20 minutes later, Rachel stood huffing and puffing at the Cuthbert's doorstep.
Come in. Hello. Good afternoon, Rachel. Good afternoon. It's a real fine afternoon, isn't it? Yes, it is. Won't you sit down? Thank you. How are all your folks? We're all good, but I was kind of afraid you weren't though, when I saw your brother Matthew heading out today.
Oh no, I'm quite well. Would you like to have a cup of tea?
No, thank you. So, you're all feeling fine then?
Yes, thank you for your concern, Rachel.
So, Matthew left on some other errand.
Matthew went to Bright River today.
Oh,
We are getting a little boy from an orphanage in Nova Scotia. He's coming on the train tonight.
are you serious, Marilla?
Rachel, we have been thinking about it from quite some times. Matthew is getting up in years, you know. He's 60. And his heart troubles him a good deal.
But a boy from an orphanage, really, Marilla?
Rachel, Mrs. Spencer decided to get a little girl, but we asked her to pick out a boy of around 10 or 11, old enough to do chores and young enough to be trained. We mean to give him a good home and schooling.
Well, Marilla, I never thought that you are going to do...
A telegram announced his arrival on 5:30 train tonight. Matthew went to meet him.
Marilla, I'll tell you plain that you are doing a mighty foolish thing. Bringing a strange kid at your home and you do not know a single thing about him. Why, only last week I read about an orphan boy who set fire into the house at night. Set it on purpose, Marilla, and nearly burnt them all to crisp in their beds. If you'd asked for my opinion in the matter, I would have clearly said for mercy's sake not to think of such a thing. That's what.
I have had qualms myself, Rachel. But it's so seldom Matthew sets his mind on anything. And as for risk, why? There's risk in having children of your own. They don't always turn out well.
Then, Marilla, don't say I didn't warn you. If he burns Green Gables or poisons the well, why did I read about a case where an orphan just did that? The whole family died in fearful agonies. Only if it was a girl in that instance.
Well, we are not getting a girl. I have never dreamt of bringing up a girl.
Okay then, I must be off. I hope it will turn out all right. Good day to you, Marilla.
Good day, Rachel.
Rachel would have stayed to inspect the orphan, but 2 hours was a long wait. Instead, she went up the road to tell the neighbors. Her news would make a sensation indeed, and Mrs. Rachel Lynn dearly loved to make a sensation.
Excuse me? Yes. Will the 5:30 train be along soon? The 5:30 train has been in one half an hour ago. I was just locking up, but a passenger was dropped for you, a little girl. I asked her to sit in the waiting room, but she preferred to stay outside. Most of her imagination, she claimed. She is a case, I would say. I'm not expecting a girl. It's a boy I have come for. Mrs. Spencer was to bring him over from Nova Scotia. Guess there's a mistake. Mrs. Spencer got off the train with that girl and gave her in my charge. She said you'll be along presently. I don't understand. Well, you better ask the girl. I dare say she will explain. She has got a tongue of her own, that's for sure. Maybe they're out of the boys of the brand you want. Good night.
I suppose you're Mr. Matthew Cuthbert of Green Gables. Oh, I'm so glad you have come. I was afraid you weren't coming for me, imagining all the things that might have happened to prevent you.
I'm sorry I was late.
Oh, I'm so glad you have come. It's so wonderful that I'm going to live with you and belong to you. I've never really belonged to anybody. Not really. The orphanage was the worst. There's so little scope for imagination in an orphanage. Oh, Mr. Cuthbert, isn't that beautiful? What does it remind you of?
You mean that cherry tree?
Yes, with the blooms all white and lacy.
Well now, I don't know.
Why, a bride, of course. All covered in a lovely misty veil. I've never seen one, but I can imagine what she would look like. I never expect to wear bride. I'm too homely. But someday I shall have a beautiful dress. That is my highest title of an ugly bliss. I've never had a pretty dress in my life. Oh, Prince Edward Island is the bloomiest place. I just love it already. I always used to imagine that I would live here, but I never really expected I would. It's so delightful when your imaginations come true, isn't it?
Well now, I guess so.
Am I talking too much? Would you rather I didn't talk? I can stop if I make my mind up to it, although it's difficult.
You can talk as much as you like. I don't mind.
Oh, I'm so glad. I know that you and I will get together fine. Just now, I feel nearly perfectly happy. Well, I can't really feel perfectly happy because what color would you call this?
It's red, ain't it?
Yes, it's red. Now you see why I can't be perfectly happy. I can imagine away my green eyes, skinniness and freckles, but I can never imagine my red hair away. This will be my lifetime sorrow. Have you ever imagined what it must be like to be divinely beautiful?
Well now, no I haven't.
What would you rather choose if you had the choice? Divinely beautiful, angelically good, or dazzlingly clever?
Well now, I'm not sure exactly.
Neither do I. I can never decide. But one thing certain though, I can never be angelically good. Just now, I feel as if I'm in a dream. I've pinched myself so many times today to see if this was real, and it is real, and I'm very nearly home.
Well now, we ought to be going. Marilla will be waiting.
Matthew Cuthbert!
Who's that? Where's the boy? There was no boy. There was only her.
No boy?
But there must have been a boy. We sent a word to Mrs. Spencer to bring us a boy. Well, she didn't. She brought her.
Well, this is a pretty piece of business. You don't want me? You don't want me because I'm not a boy? I might have expected it. Nobody ever wanted me.
Well, there's no need to cry so about it.
You would cry too if you thought that you are going to a place which will be your home, but then you find out that they don't want you because you're not a boy. Oh, that's the most tragical thing that has ever happened to me.
Well, don't cry anymore. You'll have to stay here till we investigate this matter. What's your name?
Will you please call me Cordelia?
Call you Cordelia? Is that your name?
No, it's not exactly my name, but I would be loved to call Cordelia. It's such a perfectly elegant name.
I don't know, child, what you mean. If Cordelia isn't your name, what is?
Anne Shirley. Oh, but please do call me Cordelia. Anne is such an unromantic name.
Unromantic? Fiddlesticks. Anne is good, plain and sensible name.
But I've always imagined that my name was Cordelia. If you must call me Anne, please do call me Anne spelled with an E.
What difference does it make how it's spelled?
Oh, it makes such a difference. A-N-N-E looks so much more distinguished. If you call me Anne spelled with an E, I might reconcile myself of not being called Cordelia.
Well then, Anne spelled with an E, can you please tell how this mistake came to be? We sent a word to Mrs. Spencer to bring us a boy. Weren't there any boys at the orphanage?
Yes, there were a plenty of boys, but Mrs. Spencer said distinctly that you wanted a girl. You don't know how delighted I was. I could not sleep last night for joy.
I'm going to put the horse in, Marilla. Did Mrs. Spencer bring anybody else over you?
Yes, she brought Lily Jones, who is very beautiful with nut brown hair. If I was very beautiful with nut brown hair, would you please keep me?
No. We want a boy to help Matthew on the farm. A girl is no use to us. Now go and keep your bag in the next room.
I'll prepare some tea.
Oh no, I can't eat. I'm in the depths of despair.
I guess she's tired, Marilla. Best put her to bed.
Well, this is a fine kettle of fish. That girl will have to go back to the orphanage.
Well, I suppose so.
You suppose so?
Well, now, she's a real interesting little thing, Marilla. It's a pity to send her back when she's so set on staying here.
Matthew Cuthbert, you don't mean to say that you ought to keep her.
Well, no, not exactly. But I think we ought to keep her.
And I should say not.
What good would she be to us? We might be some good to her.
Oh, I can plainly see that you want to keep her.
Well, I could hire a boy for me and she'd be company to you.
I'm not dying for company, Matthew. And that girl is not going to stay here.
Well, now, as you say, Marilla, I'm going to bed. Cheery sunshine pouring through her bedroom window. To her delight, a great cherry tree in full bloom stood right outside, close enough to touch. For a moment, she felt a sudden thrill of delight as she took in the beauty of Green Gables. But then came the horrible remembrance. The Cuthberts didn't want her.
Matthew Cuthbert?
Yes?
I have invited Mrs. Spencer over this morning to settle this thing. I hope she'll make arrangements to send Anne back to the orphanage.
Jerry was here this morning. I told him I'd hire him for the summer.
Have you taken care of those breakfast dishes?
Yes, Miss Cuthbert.
Did you say your prayers last night? No. And do you know who God is?
Yes, God is a spirit, infinite, eternal and unchangeable.
I'm glad you know something of God, Anne.
But I don't like him very much.
How can you say that, Anne?
Mr. Thomas told me that he had made my hair red on purpose and I've never cared for him since.
You do beat all, child. Why don't you go outside and amuse yourself until Mrs. Spencer arrives?
Oh, thank you, Miss Cuthbert.
That child needs to be taken under wings by someone to raise her up good and proper. What's the matter now, Anne?
Oh, I don't dare go out. What's the use of getting acquainted with Green Gables when I'm going to be torn away from it? It will just make the leaving harder.
Well then, why don't you tell me something about yourself? And I don't want any of your imaginations. Just stick to plain facts.
There's not much to tell about me. What I imagine about myself is a lot more interesting.
Facts only.
Well, I was 11 last March. My parents were high school teachers in Bolingbroke, Nova Scotia. They died of high fever when I was just 3 months old.
And who raised you after that?
Mrs. Thomas, a cleaning lady. I had no living relatives and nobody wanted me. Even then, it seems to be my fate.
How long did you stay with Mrs. Thomas?
Until her husband got killed by the train. That is when Mr. Salmon took me in to take care of her 8 kids.
And how did you end up in the orphanage?
When Mr. Harmon died, they sent me there. I was there for 4 months before Mrs. Spencer came.
I see. And were these ladies, Mrs. Thomas and Mrs. Harmon, good to you?
They meant to be. You see, they had a good deal to worry about. It's difficult to take care of a drunken husband and twins 3 times in a row is very trying. I'm sure they meant to be good to me.
Miss Cuthbert, Oh, that must be Mrs. Spencer. Come in. Good morning, Mrs. Cuthbert. Good morning, Mrs. Spencer. Well, you might know Miss Peter Blewett. Yes, we have met. Please have a seat. Well, thank you. And how are you, Anne?
As well as can be expected. Thank you.
Miss Cuthbert, I am dreadfully sorry for the mistake that was made. We distinctly got a message that you wanted a girl.
I hope the orphanage would take the child back. Well, that won't be necessary. You see, Miss Blewett here,
She has a very large family and finds it hard to find help. Anne would be the very girl for her then.
Come closer, girl, so that I can take a better look at you. How old are you and what's your full name?
Anne Shirley, and I'm 11 years old.
There's not much to you, but you are wiry, and wiry ones are the best workers. If I take you, you will have to be a good girl, smart and respectful. And I will expect you to earn your keep, no doubt about that. I'll take her off your hands, Miss Cuthbert.
well, I don't know. I didn't say that we absolutely decided not to keep her. I just wanted to find out how this mistake came to be. And once we'll decide, we'll let you know.
Okay, shall we go?
Oh, Miss Cuthbert, I would love to try some of her famous preserves. Perhaps another time then?
Another time. Good day to you. Good day, Anne.
Good day, Mrs. Spencer.
Good day, Miss Cuthbert.
Good day.
Oh, Miss Cuthbert, did you really say that you might let me stay at Green Gables?
It's not decided yet. Once we decide, we'll let her know. But Mrs. Peter Blewett needs you more than I do.
Oh, I would rather go back to the orphanage than live with that lady. She looks exactly like a weasel.
Hey, you shouldn't talk like that about a lady and a stranger. Now go to your room where you slept last night and make the bed.
Oh, Miss Cuthbert, I will do anything which you want me to do, only if you will keep me.
Who was that leaving with Miss Spencer just now?
Mrs. Peter Blewett. She'd like to take Anne off our hands. I wouldn't give a dog I like to that Blewett woman. I don't fancy her style either. But it's that of keeping Anne ourselves. And since you want, I suppose I'm willing.
Well, now, Marilla.
I have not taken care of children by my own self. But heaven knows she needs someone to raise her up good and proper. And as far as I'm concerned with you, she missed it.
I reckon you'd see it in that light, Marilla. She's such an interesting little thing.
And now you're not going to interfere in my methods. You leave it to me to manage her.
It's on to you, Marilla. Only be as good and kind to her as you can, without spoiling her.
Anne settled quickly into life at Green Gables. 2 weeks later, Rachel Lynn finally arrived to inspect the Cuthbert orphan. An illness had kept her from visiting, but as soon as she was able, she hurried up to Green Gables, bursting with curiosity.
Hello! Marilla!
Oh, hello Rachel.
Hello.
We haven't seen you about lately.
Oh, I've had a flu.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear it. But it isn't a flu season, is it?
Well, no, but this one put me flat in bed, aching all over. I was just plain miserable. Missed 2 weeks of perfectly fine weather too. But I hear that's not the only thing I've missed.
Oh,
Marilla, I've heard some surprising things about you.
I'm getting over my surprise right now.
Well, indeed, you could have just sent her back.
Matthew took a real fancy of her, and I must say, in spite of her faults, I also like her.
Marilla, it's a mighty big responsibility you've taken on, especially when you do not have any experience with children.
I think you'd like to meet Anne. Anne! Anne, come down here.
Oh, Marilla, how do I look?
Anne, remove that. Heavens, child.
They didn't pick you for your looks, that's for sure. She's terrible skinny and homely, Marilla. Come here, child. Let me have a look at you. Did anybody ever see such freckles? And hair as red as carrots.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. How dare you call me skinny and ugly? How dare you call me freckled and red-headed? You're a rude, impolite, unwilling woman. And how would you be like to call fat and clumsy? You have hurt me more than anyone ever has, and I'm never going to forgive you for it. Never, never, never.
And go to your room and stay there. And
Did anybody ever see such temper? I don't envy you bringing that up, Marilla.
you shouldn't have commented on your looks, Rachel.
Marilla Cuthbert, are you defending that terrible display of temper?
I'm not excusing her, but she has never been taught what is right, and you were too hard with her.
So now I see that I have to be a little bit careful of what I say after this, since the feelings of orphans seem to come first. I guess that red hair matches the temper. I must be of good day to you and never expect me to come back again in a hurry.
Good day, Rachel. Anne! Anne, come down here! What a way to behave, Anne! Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
She had not any right to call me ugly and red-headed.
You hadn't any right to speak in such a fury.
When she said those things, something just rose up inside me and choked me.
Well, you have made a fine exhibition of yourself in front of Mrs. Lynn. She got a very nice story to tell about you, and she will tell. It was dreadful of you of losing your temper in front of her like this.
How would you like to be called skinny and ugly?
I'm not defending her. Rachel is an outspoken. But you must go and apologize and ask for forgiveness.
Oh, I can never do that. You can lock me up in a dark, damp dungeon with snakes and toads and feed me with bread and water, and I will not complain. Only, I will not ask Mrs. Lynn to forgive me.
We are not in a habit of locking people in dungeons. And as far as apologizing, Mrs. Lynn, yes, you will, or else you will stay in your room until you agree to it.
Then, I will have to stay there forever then. When Anne didn't turn up for the evening meal, Marilla had to explain her absence to Matthew, who sided with Anne in the matter. So, when Marilla left to bring the cows in from the pasture, Matthew decided to speak to Anne.
How are you doing, Anne?
Okay, I guess.
Well now, Anne, don't you think you'd better do it and have it over with? Marilla's a very determined woman. Do it right off, I say, and have it over.
Do you mean apologize to Mrs. Lynn?
Yes, apologize. That's the very word. Just smooth it over, so to speak.
I suppose I could do it to oblige you. I'm sorry now, though I wasn't sorry a bit before. Not a bit. If you really want me to, I will.
There now. Of course I do. It's terribly lonesome downstairs without you.
Very well. I will tell Marilla I have repented.
That's a good girl. But don't tell Marilla I said anything. I promise not to interfere.
Oh no, wild horses don't drag the secret from me. Well, how would wild horses drag a secret from a person anyhow? When Marilla returned, Anne announced that she was ready to apologize to Mrs. Lynn. So, after dinner...
Please come in. Good evening, Marilla.
Good evening, Rachel.
Oh, Mrs. Lynn, I'm so extremely sorry, and I could never express all my sorrow, even if I used up the whole dictionary. I'm a dreadfully wicked and ungrateful girl who deserves to be cast out by the respectable people forever. Every word you said about me was true. My hair is red and I'm skinny, ugly and freckled. What I said about you was true too, although I should not have said that. Oh, Mrs. Lynn, please say that you will forgive me.
There, child. Get down. Of course, I forgive you. I guess I was a little hard on you anyway. But I'm such an outspoken person. You must not mind me. While your hair is terrible red, I once knew a girl whose red hair turned into a beautiful auburn when she grew up. And I wouldn't be surprised if yours did too.
Oh, Mrs. Lynn, you've given me such a beacon of hope. Thank you so much.
Now why don't you go to the garden and pick a bouquet of those beautiful June lilies?
Of course, I would like that.
Well, Marilla, she's a real odd little thing. But she may turn out all right. On the whole, I kind of like her.
Now, I think I'll call this next chapter a solemn vow and promise, in which Anne meets her first friend, Diana Barry. Her first real friend, that is, replaced the others that existed only in Anne's rich imagination.
Anne, come in here. How do you like them?
I will imagine that I like them.
I don't want you to imagine that you like them. What's wrong with them? They are neat and new.
They're not pretty.
Pretty? Heavens, child. These dresses are serviceable and sensible after those worn faded things you have been wearing. I thought you'd be grateful.
I am grateful, Marilla, but I would have been a lot more gratefuler if you had made one of those with puff sleeves. It would give me such a thrill, Marilla.
Well, then you have to do it without your thrill. I don't have materials to waste on puff sleeves. Now I'm going to Mrs. Berry to borrow a pattern, and you must come along to meet her daughter Diana.
Oh, Marilla, I'm so frightened.
What's the matter now, Anne?
What if Diana doesn't like me?
Oh, she is going to like you well enough. It's a mother you will have to reckon with. But be a well-behaved and polite girl, and don't give any of her startling speeches. Now come along.
Trembling with both excitement and fear, Anne accompanied Marilla to the Barrys' home. While Marilla discussed skirt patterns with Mrs. Barry, Anne wandered into the garden.
Well, hello there.
Oh, hello. I'm Anne Shirley and I've come to live with the Cuthberts.
I know, I've heard of you. In fact, I think everyone in the Ivy League has heard of you. Thanks to Miss Lind. I'm Diana Barry.
Oh, Diana, do you like me enough to be my bosom friend?
Why? I guess so. I'm awfully glad that you came to live in Green Gables. There are no girls to play with, and my sisters are too young.
Diana, will you swear to be my best friend forever and ever?
Why? Isn't it dreadfully wicked to swear?
Oh no, not that kind of swearing. There are two types, you know.
There are.
Yes, there are. The other kind just means to make a promise.
Well, I don't mind doing that. How does it work?
Why don't you come over here? Give me your hand. Place your another hand. We must take the oath over running water. Now I will say the oath. I solemnly swear to be faithful to my bosom friend Diana Barry as long as the sun and the moon shall endure. Now you say it and put my name in it.
All right. I solemnly swear to be faithful to my
Bosom friend.
Anne Shirley, as long as the sun and the moon shall endure. You're different, Anne, but I believe I'm going to like you real well.
For the rest of the summer, Anne and Diana were inseparable, filling their days with endless adventures. But as September approached, Marilla grew anxious of sending Anne to school. She was such an odd girl, and she wondered if Anne would get along with the other children, and how on earth she'd manage to hold her tongue during school hours. When September finally arrived, it brought with it new friends, new adventures, and even a few new enemies. I have titled this chapter A Tempest in the School Teapot.
Inside Ivy School.
Woo! I guess Gilbert Blight will be in school today. He has been visiting his cousins in New Brunswick and he only came home Saturday. He is awfully handsome and he teases the girls something terrible.
I will be sure to watch out for him then.
You'll have to, Anne. Gilbert's 14 and he's used to being the head of our class. I guess you have some competition now.
Oh, I'm so glad. I could not really feel proud keeping ahead of 9 and 10-year-olds.
Oh, here's Mr. Phillips now.
May I come in, sir?
Hey, Anne, that's Gilbert Blight. Don't you think he's handsome?
It's Ruby Gillis. Bring me your arithmetic book from yesterday.
Ah!
Stand up. Go and sit at the back.
I think your Gilbert Blight is handsome, but he is very bold. Did you see what he just did to poor Ruby?
Poor
Miss Shirley, behave yourself. Show me what you have done.
Hey, carrots.
You mean hateful boy? How dare you? And Shirley, what is the meaning of this?
Mr. Phillips, it was my fault. I teased her.
You sit down. Miss Shirley, come here. Nose to the board. And Shirley has a very bad temper. She must learn to control her temper. Class, resume your spelling task.
Mr. Phillips, I am so sorry to disturb your class, but the school inspector is early and he wishes to see you.
Yes, thank you, Miss Berry. I will be right out.
Sure.
Class, you are dismissed for recess.
Temper, Anne. I guess it's true what they say about redheads.
And I'm sorry Mr. Phillips wrote her name upon the board.
Hey, Kale, come on. Go on ahead, Charlie. I'll meet you down by the brook. Okay, but don't take long. I'm awfully sorry, Anne. I made fun of her hair. Honest I am. Please don't be mad for keeps now. Alright then, I shall give you time to cool off.
Oh, Anne, how could you? He tried to apologize. He feels badly.
I shall never forgive Gilbert Blight. And look, Mr. Phillips wrote my name without an E. Oh, the iron has entered my soul, Diana.
But you must not mind Gilbert. He makes fun of all the girls in the class. He laughs at my black hair and calls me a crow. He'll never apologize for it either.
It's not the same thing, Diana. He has hurt my feelings excruciatingly.
But Anne...
I've decided I'm not coming to school anymore. I can do anything in this world for you, Diana, but not this. My mind is quite made up.
Oh, Anne, you can't stay home. What will I do without you, Anne? Please.
And stay at home, she did. And learned her lessons on her own, did her chores, and played with Diane in the chilly evenings. But whenever she met Gilbert Blight, she passed him by with icy contempt. In spite of its many efforts to appease her, and Diana's efforts as a peacemaker, Anne had made up her mind to never forgive Gilbert.
Oh, I will hate that Gilbert Blight for the rest of my life. Excuse me, are you the author of this story?
Why, yes, I am.
Why did you have to give me red hair? It's truly the root of all my problems. Nobody could call me carrots if I had dark hair like Diana.
Red hair gives you character, Anne. And speaking of character, you belong back in your story. Alas, Anne was a natural for finding trouble, and her next set of woes had nothing to do with the red hair. After inviting Diana for tea at Green Gables, Anne accidentally got her friend drunk, mistaking Morella's currant wine for raspberry cordial. The result, well, see for yourself.
Oh, Miss Berry, please wait.
What do you want?
Oh, Mrs. Berry, please forgive me. Imagine you were a poor orphan girl and had only one friend in the world. Would you intoxicate her on purpose? If you don't forgive me, my life will be covered in a dark cloud of woe.
Dark cloud of woe indeed. I don't think that you're a fit little girl for my Diana to associate with. Now go.
Oh, Mrs. Berry, please let me see Diana once just to say farewell. I shall never have another friend in my life. Oh, my life is a perfect graveyard of buried hopes.
The next day, Anne surprised Marilla by announcing that she was returning to school. It was all she had left, she said, now that her best friend had been torn from her. On the school playground the next day.
Dear Anne, mother says I'm not to play with you or talk to you, even in school. It isn't my fault, so please don't be cross with me. I miss you awfully, and I don't like sitting with that horrid Josie pie. I made you a new bookmark out of red tissue paper. They're very fashionable right now, and then only 3 girls know how to make them. When you look at it, remember your true friend Diana Barry.
My dear Diana, of course I'm not cross with you, because you must obey your mother. Our spirits can commune. Our spirits can commune? I shall keep your lovely present forever. Ruby Gillis is a very nice girl to sit with, but she has no imagination. Yours until death us do apart. And or Cordelia Shirley?
Anne threw herself into her studies, determined not to be outdone by Gilbert Blythe. While Gilbert was good-natured about such academic rivalry, unfortunately, the same could not be said of Anne. In January of that year, Providence intervened. Given the opportunity to redeem herself in Mrs. Barry's eyes when she saved the life of Minnie May, Diana's youngest sister.
Well, Mrs. Barry, that little red-headed girl had over at the Cuthbert is as smart as they make them. She saved your baby's life. It would have been too late by the time I got here.
I know, doctor.
For a child her age, she has unusual skills and presence of mind. You are very fortunate she was there.
I'm eternally grateful to Anne Shirley. If I had known Minnie May was so ill, I wouldn't have gone to the town. But I'm thankful to her.
I did not sound like anything like her when she was explaining the case to me. She knew exactly what to do. Well, there's no need of me. Good day to Mrs. Barry.
Good day, doctor. It seems I have to make things right with Anne Shirley.
And finally, Anne and Diana were together again. Anne insisted to go on a concert on Diana's birthday. Marilla refused, while Matthew persisted. Marilla was worried it might hamper her performance the next day at school, and as she had predicted, Anne's excitement caused her to perform poorly at school the next day. Gilbert Blythe overtook Anne in both spelling and math that morning. But by evening, Anne soon forgot all the day's humiliation. By a delicious tea at Diana's, a sleigh ride to the concert hall, and the entertainment of the concert itself.
Oh, Diana!
Oh, Anne!
Wasn't the concert a delightful time? How splendid to recite in front of others. Do you think we will be ever given the chance to do so?
Of course Gilbert Blythe does it better. He's only 2 years older. Oh, Anne, how could you pretend not to listen to him this evening?
I wasn't interested.
But you read the library book the whole time he recited. When he came to the line, there's another, not a sister, he looked straight at you.
Diana, I cannot allow you to speak to me of that person.
But Anne...
Oh, Diana, I have an idea. Let's race to the bed to see who gets there first.
One,
3, 2,
1. Oh, Josephine, are you all right?
Oh, Miss Berry,
Who are you?
I'm Anne of Green Gables.
So what?
It was my fault about jumping on you in the bed. I suggested it.
Oh, I must. I rather think that Diana did her share of jumping.
But it was just for fun. Now that we have apologized, please do forgive us.
Do you know what it is like to be awakened out of a sound sleep after a long journey by two big girls coming to bounce on you?
Well, I don't know, but it must be very disturbing.
Disturbing indeed.
But then there's our side of story too.
What do you mean?
Do you have an imagination, Miss Berry? Put yourself in our place. We didn't know you were in the bed and you nearly scared us to death. And we were promised this spare room. It was to be such an honor.
Well, my imagination is a little rusty, and it's been so long since I've used it. And I dare say your claim to sympathy is just as strong as mine. You're right. It all depends on how you look at it. Come sit down and tell me about yourself, Angel.
Oh, Aunt Josephine, you're such a kindred spirit. Although you don't look like much.
The next fall, a new teacher arrived at Avonlea School. Miss Stacy quickly won a student's heart by her innovative teaching style. That winter, she organized a Christmas concert, and her students were soon caught up with all the excitement and preparations. As for Anne, she found herself yet again trying to convince Marilla of the merits of attending concerts.
Oh, Marilla, this school Christmas concert is for a good cause. It will help pay for the school flag.
Nonsense. It just takes time away from your lessons.
A flag will cultivate a spirit of patriotism, Marilla.
Well, she's got a point there, Marilla.
Fudge! Having fun is more likely the motivation than patriotism.
The Christmas concert is going to be wonderful. Diana is going to sing a solo, and I'm in 2 dialogues too. Just now I feel a tremble, but it's a nice, silly kind of tremble.
Thrilly trembles. Heavens! I'll be glad when all this fuss is over and you can settle down. With all those things stuffed in your mind, there isn't any room for anything.
Oh, I'm going to practice upstairs. Oh, and don't be alarmed if you hear me groaning. I have to groan heart-rendingly in one of my dialogues. It's really hard to get a good artistic groan, Marilla. Ha 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 ha.
Well now, I reckon it's going to be a pretty good concert.
Stuff and nonsense.
Days later, shy Matthew found himself avoiding the sitting room. It was full of Anne's lively friends who were rehearsing for the Christmas concert. He couldn't help but notice how plainly Anne was dressed compared to the other girls who wore bright and fashionable dresses. He wondered why did Marilla keep her so soberly dressed. At that moment, he decided Anne must have one pretty dress. He summoned all his courage and set out to buy one.
Oh, Mr. Cuthbert, what can I do for you today?
Hello, Miss Harris. Is Mr. Lawson in? I usually deal with him.
Not now, sir. Can I help you? You can tell me.
Do you have any garden rakes?
A garden rake in the middle of December? Well, I'll check if we have any left. Oh, I'm afraid to say we don't have any left.
Ah, yes, I completely understand. So, do you have any sugar?
White or brown?
Brown.
Just a second. How much?
20 pounds?
Here you go, 20 pounds of brown sugar. That's a lot of sugar. Will there be anything else for you, sir?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Well, good evening, Matthew. Just that?
Excuse me? Can I ask you a special favor?
By all means, Matthew, what is it?
Actually, I want to give Anne a special dress for this
Oh, I
Christmas.
see. To be sure I will, but do you have something particular in mind? No? Then I guess I'll go by my judgment. I saw some real pretty fabric at the William Blair store. Perhaps you'd like me to pick it up for you. That way, it will be a surprise for Anne, and I'm happy to do it. I like sewing.
I'm much obliged. But can you make the sleeve the new way they are wearing them?
Oh, puffed sleeves?
Ah.
Yes, You don't worry a speck more about it. I'll make it up in the very latest fashion.
Well, thank you kindly, Rachel.
It will be a real satisfaction to see that poor child wear something decent for once. The way Marilla dresses her is positively ridiculous, and I've had to tell her so many times. Well, I'm sure that Anne must feel the difference between her clothes and the other girls. But to think of Matthew taking note of it, that man is waking up after being asleep for over 60 years.
Christmas morning unveiled a beautiful white world. It had been a mild December and the folks looked forward to a green Christmas. But just enough snow fell softly in the night to transform Avonlea.
Ho ho ho! Ho ho ho! Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas, Marilla! Merry Christmas, Matthew! Oh, I'm so glad it's a white Christmas. Any other kind doesn't seem real. It's so beautiful. Oh, Matthew.
Open it up. Well now, don't you like it?
Like it? Oh, Matthew, I love it. It's so perfectly exquisite. I just love it, the puff sleeves. Thank you so much, Matthew.
Matthew, have this. I don't think you needed the dress, Anne, but since Matthew got it for you, I think you should take a good care of it.
Merry Christmas to the Cuthbert family.
Merry Christmas, Diana. Merry Christmas. Oh, Diana, look at the dress Matthew got me.
Wow. Mr. Cuthbert, you have a very good taste.
I think we should go in the kitchen, Matthew, and let the girls be.
Here, Anne. Go on, open it. It's from Aunt Joseph.
Oh, Diana. For the Anne girl, Aunt Josephine. Oh, Diana, to me this is a happy dream. I'm so glad, Diana.
I call it providential. Now, you won't have to borrow rupee sleepers to play the part of the fairy maid at the concert tonight.
Let's go upstairs to take this dress and the shoes.
Come on.
That evening, Matthew and Marilla accompanied Anne to a Christmas concert. The first one they attended in 20 years. Afterwards, they took some time for reflection.
Well now, I guess our Anne did as well as any of them at the Christmas concert.
She's a bright girl, Matthew.
I'm proud of her too.
I think we could send her to Queen's after a spell.
Well, there's no harm of thinking it over.
Anne, come with me, Anne.
No, I'm not coming. No, you can't do this with me every time. No.
Spring brought with it a lull in Anne's usual bouts of trouble. So by the time late April arrived, Marilla thought things might have been a little too quiet.
Shut up! Go away!
Anne? Anne, where are you, Anne? Mercy, Anne, I have been looking for you everywhere. Are you asleep?
No,
Are you sick then?
no.
And surely, whatever is the matter, get up this minute.
Look at my hair, Marilla.
Anne, what have you done to your hairs? Why, it's green.
I thought nothing could be as bad as red hair, but green hair are 10 times worse. Oh, I'm in the depths of despair, Marilla.
Tell me how this happened.
I dyed it.
Dyed it? What on earth you were thinking, Anne? And why would you choose green?
I did not mean to dye it green. He told me that it would make my hair beautifully raven black and it won't even wash away. How could I have doubted him?
Who are you talking about?
The peddler who came this afternoon. I bought the dye from him.
A peddler, huh? I hope your eyes have been opened to where vanity has led you.
Oh, Marilla, people have forgotten all my other mistakes, but they shall never forget this one. How will I face Josie Pye? How she will laugh at me?
And now there's no other way but just cut it off.
No.
Come on, let's get this in.
No.
And
No.
and
No.
and
No, Marilla. I'm the unhappiest girl in the Prince Edward Island. No, Marilla, I'm not coming. No. You can't do this with me every time. No, Marilla, no. Please, Marilla, please.
The summer of Anne's 13th year was filled with fascinating sports around the Barry's Pond. One particular afternoon, Anne and her friends decided to recreate a scene from Tennyson's poem, The Lady of Shalott, in which Mr. Barry's boat presented itself as a prop in Anne's dramatic plan.
Go away.
of course you must be the fairy lily maid, Anne. I would never have the courage to float down there. Nor I. I don't mind sitting on a boat. But to lie flat and pretend that I'm there, I just can't. I would die of fright.
Of course it would be romantic, but I know I just want to be able to keep still. I just ruin the effect by popping up every so often to see where I'm going.
But a red-haired person can't be the lily maid. Ruby ought to be Elaine.
You know, Anne, your hairs are much more darker after you cut them.
Yes, they are.
Do you really think so, Diana?
Why? You should call them auburn now instead of red. Yes.
Yes, auburn hair.
Well, alright then. I will be Elaine. Ruby, you must be King Arthur. And Jane, you will be Guinevere. And Diana, you must be Lancelot.
All right.
Oh, she really does look dead. You know, Miss Lynn says that play acting is really wicked.
Oh, don't say that Mrs. Lynde's name in front of me. It spoils the effect.
Spoils the effect. Shut up. Okay.
Oh. And for goodness sake, smile a little. You know, Elaine, lay as she smiles. That's better.
Sister, farewell forever.
Farewell, sweet sister.
Now, push off.
Where are my oars? Where are they? Oh, left on the shore, of course. Oh God, please save me. Take me to that pole and I will do the rest. I know it isn't a flowery prayer, but it's the best I can do under the circumstances.
Any sign yet of our lily maid? She should be here by now, should not she?
Oh! Oh no, look!
Is that your father's boat, Diana?
Oh girls, what we have done!
We've drowned Anne!
Where are the girls? Why haven't they come for me? Oh God, please send someone. Please.
And Shirley.
Oh God, couldn't you have sent someone else?
What happened, Anne?
We were playing Elaine, the fairy lily maid, and I had to float down to Camelot. And then this.
Oh, looks like we have reached the land.
Yeah.
And wait. I'm awfully sorry I made fun of your hair that time. I only meant it as a joke. Besides, that was so long ago. I think your hair is awfully pretty now. Can we just put this aside and be friends?
I shall never be friends with you, Gilbert Blythe.
Alright then, I do not care either. I shall never ask you to be friends again, Anne Shirley.
Neither do I.
Oh, Anne! Oh, Anne.
Oh, Anne, we thought you've drowned. How did you escape?
I climbed one of the piles and Gilbert Blythe rescued me.
Why Gilbert rescued you? That's so romantic, Anne. Of course you'll have to talk to him after this.
Don't speak the word romantic in front of me. I don't like that guy.
But Anne...
Everything I do leads me or my friends into troubles. Oh God.
Don't worry, Anne. Let's get you somewhere safe first. Matthew! Marina! Do not worry. She is fine. Take care, Anne.
Take care, Anne.
Take care.
Will you ever have any sense, Anne?
Oh Marilla, I think my prospects of becoming sensible are brighter than ever.
After nearly drowning yourself, huh? I don't see how.
With each of my mistakes, I've learned a valuable lesson. And today's lesson is that I should not be too much romantic. You will see a great improvement in me from now on.
Well, I certainly hope so.
Don't give up all your romance, Anne. A little of it is a good thing. Not too much, of course, but keep a little of it, Anne.
As Anne grew older, life grew calmer around Green Gables. When Marilla realized that Anne had become a young woman, it seemed to her to have happened overnight. Soon, Anne had finished at Avonlea School and was awaiting the result of her entrance exam to Queen's.
Well, Marilla, we missed you at the 8th meeting on Thursday.
Matthew had a bad spell with his heart on this Thursday, and I thought I couldn't leave him.
Is he alright now?
Yeah, he's alright now, but I'm anxious about him. He got those heart attacks more often lately.
Sorry to hear that. Well, how are you? Are you still getting those headaches?
Oh, my headaches. They come and go. It's my eyesight I'm concerned of. Doctor insists that I must leave sewing and reading entirely, or else I'll lose my eyesight.
You don't say that. It's hurtful.
At least doctor feels that these glasses will cure my headaches.
Age doesn't always treat us kindly, does it?
Hello, Mrs. Lynn.
Hello, and dear. Did you get the results of the Queen's entrance exam?
Not yet, but soon, I hope.
And I understand you want to become a teacher, a suitable profession for you, I guess.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Lynn. I think I'll go help Matthew with those harnesses.
Marilla, Anne has turned out to be a real smart girl. She must be great help to you.
Yeah, she is. She is steady and reliable. I thought she's never going to get rid of those feather-brained ways, but she has.
I never thought that she is going to turn out so well. That day, she gave me that tantrum. I went home and told Thomas that Marilla Cuthbert will rue the day she bought that girl in. But I was wrong. I was mistaken. And I'm glad that I've realized it.
You've been working too hard today, Matthew. Why don't you take it easy?
Only that I'm getting old and I keep forgetting it, Anne.
If I'd been the boy you sent for, I'd be able to help so much now.
Well now, Anne, I'd rather choose you rather than a dozen boys. Just mind you that, rather than a dozen boys.
Anne! Anne! Anne!
Oh, hello, Diana.
Hi.
What do you have there?
Oh, Han, you've passed. Passed with your very first. You and Gilbert both have tied. But your name is first. I'm so proud of you, Anne. Go on, take a look.
Well now, Anne, I knew you could do it. You are my girl that I'm proud of.
Won't Miss Stacy be proud? You're all halfway up. Jane and Ruby did a pretty well job too. And so did Charlie. Josie Pye just scraped by with 3 marks. But just wait. She'll put on airs like she was first.
Yay! Oh, I'm dazzled inside. I want to say 100 things, but I just can't find words. Oh, Matthew, excuse us please. I want to go inside and tell Mrs. Lind and Marilla.
Well now, she ain't been much point. And putting in my occasional 2 cents did no harm too. Well, there's never been a luckier mistake than what Mrs. Spencer did. No, not a mistake, a providence. God knew we needed her, I reckon.
Over the next few weeks, Green Gables bustled with preparation for Queens. Matthew saw to it that Anne had plenty of pretty dresses, and for once, Marilla did not object. After a tearful farewell to the Cuthberts and Diana, Anne found herself in a boarding house near Queens, missing Green Gables.
Our French professor is so handsome. His mustache would skip heartbeats. That's why I stopped by. Otherwise, I would have gone to the park with Frank Stockley to hear the band play. You know, Frank Stockley is a real sport. He asked about you today, and I told him that you were a poor orphan that the Cuthberts had taken in, and nobody knew much about you before that.
Hey Josie, I really should be studying, but I just couldn't settle it down tonight. Will you be trying out for the gold medal, Anne?
I'll admit I've thought of it.
Oh, that reminds me, word came today that the Queens will be offering the Avery Scholarship this year. Frank Stockley told me. His uncle's on the board of governors, you know.
The Avery Scholarship, that's for the highest marks in English literature, isn't it? Yes, and it's worth lots of money. College tuitions for 4 years.
So what are we all doing here? Come on, don't be a spoiled sport. Let's go hear the band play. Alright, we might as well. Let's go, girls. Let's see the Frank boy. Woo!
Miss Stacy had advised both Anne and Gilbert to take up second-year work at Queen's. This meant getting a first-class teacher's license in 1 year instead of 2, but it also meant more challenging work. Anne's heavy workload and an occasional visit home soon helped their homesickness to wear off. At Queen's, her academic rivalry with Gilbert was as intense as ever, but somehow the bitterness had worn off. But before anyone knew it, the term was over and the exam results were posted.
Hey Gil, congratulations, you have won the gold medal.
Gilbert Blythe, the gold medalist.
Gilboy,
Gilboy, Gilly, Gilly, Gilboy, 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 Gilly, Gilly, Gilboy.
So much for your hopes of winning that gold medal, Anne. I'll see you around, girls. I want to see how Frank Stockley did on his final.
He failed.
There's going to be a band in the drum. Well, I'm happy for Gilbert. I mean, he deserves it. Oh, Jane, I haven't the moral courage to look for myself. I'll just wait here till you check the results.
Okay. 3 cheers for Anne Shirley, winner of AV scholarship. Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip
Hooray!
hip!
Hooray!
Who got their license early?
Anne Shirley! Anne Shirley!
Oh, won't Matthew and Marilla be pleased? I must write to them straight away.
Where are you going, Anne?
Following her commencement, Anne was happy to return to Green Gables for the summer holidays. Matthew and Marilla were pleased to have her home again. Anne's absence had left an empty hole in their lives.
To take first class license in only 1 year and win the Avery scholarship. I reckon you are glad we kept her, Marilla. It's not the first time I have been glad, Matthew. You do like to rub in things, right?
Hello, Mr. and Miss Cuthbert.
Hello, Diana. Anne has been waiting for you in her room.
Oh, Anne, it's so good to have you home. You don't know how much I've missed you.
It's good to be home, Diana.
I suppose you won't be teaching now that you won the Avery?
No, I'm going to Redmond in September. Jane and Ruby are going to teach though.
And so will Gilbert Blythe. He has to earn his way through college. His father can't afford to send him. Hey, Anne, do you know Gilbert has applied for the teaching position at Avonlea School? Can you imagine that?
And I'm going to Mrs. Lynn. There's some news about AB Bank. And I'm very worried about it.
Is everything alright?
I don't know. Matthew is worried about it. And every penny of our savings in that bank. But you girls have a lovely visit. And help yourself with tea and scones downstairs.
Thank you, Miss Cuthbert. Hey, Anne, is Matthew not doing quite alright? I've noticed that he works as hard even though he has a hired man.
No, he's not, Diana. Marilla says he's had some bad spells with his art. And he works himself too hard. Come, let's chat over tea in the kitchen.
That summer, sorrow's shadow fell upon Green Gables. Matthew Cuthbert never recovered from the news that AB Bank had failed. He died instantly of an heart attack. The news of Matthew's passing spread quickly through Avonlea. Soon, friends and neighbors, old and young, came on calling errands of kindness. Afterwards, Anne and Marilla found themselves very alone at Green Gables.
What will we do without him, Marilla?
We have got each other, Anne. I don't know what I'd do if you weren't here. If you had never come. Oh, Anne, I know I have been strict with you. Even harsh sometimes. But you must not think that I didn't love you. As well as Matthew did. It has been hard for me to speak from my heart. But I loved you as dear as if you are my own flesh and blood. Oh, Anne, you have been my joy and comfort ever since you have come to Green Gables.
I've always known you loved me, Marilla. It just wasn't your way to say it.
And now, I have to think of selling Green Gables.
You don't have to sell Green Gables, Marilla. I'll stay with you. I'm not going to Redmond.
I can't let you give your ambitions, Anne.
I'm just as ambitious as ever, Marilla. Only that I've changed the object of my ambition. I'm going to be a good teacher and I'll study for college at home. Mr. Berry wants to rent the farm, so it won't be a trouble for you. And I'll teach at Carmody School. Of course, it won't be as close and convenient as Avonlea School, but the trustees have already promised it to Gilbert Blythe. After I left Queen's, my future stretched out before me like a straight road. Only now, there's a bend in it. I don't know what lies around the bend, but I hope that the best does.
Oh, you blessed girl. I feel as if you have given me a new life. Come, sit with me. So, Gilbert Blythe is teaching too.
Yes,
What a nice looking fellow he is. I saw him at the church last Sunday. He looks a lot like his father, John Blythe. John Blythe was a good friend of mine. People called him my beau.
oh, Marilla. And what happened? Why didn't you?
We had a quarrel, and I didn't forgive him when he asked me to. I was sulky and angry, wanted to punish him first, but then I regretted. I felt I should have forgiven him when I had the chance.
So, you've had a bit of romance in your life, Marilla.
Yeah, I suppose you can call it that.
And what about the rest?
Well, rest is well. Hello, Rachel.
Good evening. Why are you starting? Sit down. Oh my God, I've been on my feet all day. I'm plumb tuckered. Well, and I just came over to give you the news.
What news?
The trustees at Avonlea have decided to give you the school.
Mrs. Lynn, why? I thought they promised it to Gilbert Blythe.
So they did, but as soon as Gilbert heard that you had applied for it, he quickly withdrew his application and suggested to accept yours. Of course, he gave up the school because he knew how much you wanted to stay with Marilla.
I think I ought not to take it. I mean, why would Gilbert give up school for me?
Of course you will, and you won't do him any good by not accepting it. He's already signed papers with the White Sands trustees.
Excuse me, Mrs. Lynn. Marilla, I think I'll go for a bit of walk. I need time to think.
Well, Marilla, I must be off. I just came over to give Anne the news.
I'll walk you part the way.
Gilbert, I want to thank you for giving up school for me. It was good of you. I want you to know that I appreciate it.
It wasn't particularly good of me at all, and I was happy to help you in some ways. Are we going to be friends after this? Have you really forgiven me my old faults?
Oh, I forgave you the day by the pond, Gilbert. Although I didn't know it then. I confess, I've been sorry ever since.
Well, I am glad you have come around. We were meant to be best of friends, and come, I will walk you home.
And that evening, as the stillness and the comfort of the twilight surrounded Green Gables, Anne Shirley happily considered that bend in the road and all of its many possibilities. The end.
I must say, the performances have left us all awestruck. The brilliant execution of script, the remarkable performances, and the gripping storyline are a proof of the hard work our cast and crew have put into this production. We hope you've enjoyed the laughter, the tears, and the incredible talents displayed here.
It is rightly said, when words fail to express, the silence speaks. This is the power of theatrical drama. Indeed, Aryan, each performance was spellbinding, and each character was brought to life with such fineness.
Yes, it's truly commendable what a group of dedicated and passionate individuals can achieve together. Now, as we wrap up our exciting journey, we would like you to meet a star cast of 8A and 8C.
With great anticipation, let's welcome our star cast on the stage. A special thanks to our performers who took us on this unforgettable journey of Anne of Green Gables.
So let's give them a thunderous round of applause.
Thank you all for giving us such a mesmerizing performance. That was brilliant.
Dear parents, please remember, these students are not just performers. They are storytellers, dreamers, and the future creators of our world. And we are sure that we all have experienced the magical spell of theatre. We hope that you have enjoyed this event as much as we enjoyed presenting it to you.
Before we take your leave, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the team Footlight, dear Gauri ma'am, Ayush sir, Mithil sir, and Shreya ma'am for their tremendous guidance to showcase this journey of Anne of Green Gables.
On behalf of the DCS family, we also extend our heartfelt thanks to all the parents on gracing us on this occasion with your presence today. Your support means the world to us.
Finally, we would like to thank the entire DCS family for the unfailing support to make this event a successful one.
Now, as we dim our lights, we only brighten anticipation for more such shared journeys.
On this note, we bid you goodbye and look forward to welcome you back soon for more incredible performances.
With gratitude, now we conclude this event of Theatre Fiesta 2024 and of Green Gables.
Thank you all.
I am Lucy's father, Avni's father. Yeah. So indeed, it's a mesmerizing experience, I must say. And thanks to school administration, they have provided such a wonderful platform for the kids to nurture their talent. Believe me, today we see the people around us, whether you are into business or whether you are academician or working anywhere, people have a stage fear. Still we'll see many people. Even they've grown up in the ladder, still they have. But today I saw how this school is nurturing them, how they are preparing them for the future. That's really amazing. Thanks. I really give a hats off to you guys. Thank you. Thank you. For them to prepare for the future. You see their confidence, how they're standing here. And small things I observed. Moving the stools, giving the signs, props, everything. Such a wonderful coordination they have. That shows how much preparation they have done every day. And they imbibe that role so truly. You could see and what's the symphony? I mean, among all of them, that's really amazing, I must say. And really, I could see how much work, how much efforts have gone into it. And that was really amazing, true teamwork. Thank you, team. And I thought of standing and give a standing ovation to this team. Thank you very much.